The information in this episode is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. Always, always, always consult with qualified healthcare providers before starting any peptide, hormone, or health optimization protocol. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a certified optimization coach who believes in educating and empowering you to take control of your health. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Leaders Realm podcast. I'm your host, Tony Cammarata. And as you know, here in the realm, we keep it real, authentic, brutally honest every time. So today's episode, it's no different, guys. Well, maybe just a little. See, this episode, I'm shifting the focus to men over 40. But if you're not there, don't tune out because you might learn something that you need for the long haul. Or you might learn something that someone that you love or you know really well may need. So sit back, grab that coffee. Let's get it. Are you starting to notice that things are feeling off? You're not broken. Not at all. And you're not alone. I'm right there with you. I promise, guys, you're just uninformed. But what if I told you there's a way to reclaim your edge, your energy, your clarity without burning out or guessing your way through another supplement fad or another, fasting fad or whatever it is? It's not hype, it's science. And today I want to crack open a vault on one of the best kept secrets on performance, recovery, longevity, and quality of life. More and more people are hearing more about it. They get excited about it. They're kind of perplexed by it. I get phone calls all the time. Hey, what do you know about this? How can you help me? So listen up, guys. This episode, it might just change the trajectory of your life and your health. What I want to talk about today is peptides. I want to strip it all down, keep it real. You see, peptides, they're not some mysterious substance cooked up in a lab by any mad scientist. They're already inside you right now. In fact, your body needs them to run. You see, peptides, they're nothing more than short chains of amino acids, basically mini proteins. But don't let the word mini fool you. These things are powerful. Think of them like messages, right? Biological text messages that tell your body what to do, how to heal, when to grow, and where to direct the energy. Now, here's the kicker. Your body's already making peptides. In fact, over 7,000 of them. They regulate everything from your hormones, metabolism, immune system, your sleep, your cognition, the whole gamut, the entire show. But as you age, especially when you get past 30, definitely after 40, that natural production, it starts to slow down. These systems just slowly start to just shut down. And we accept it because we're aging, we're getting older. It doesn't have to be that way. So it's like, think of it as an old phone that has a dying battery, right? The signal starts to get weaker. Messages slowly stop coming through, and all the symptoms just start creeping in. You know the ones that I'm talking about, right? Like you wake up sore for no reason. Your recovery takes longer than it should. You hit the gym, but your gains are minimal. Your brain feels foggy. Energy starts to dip halfway through the day. You need a shot of caffeine. And here's a good one. The fat starts clinging around your midsection. That six-pack slowly starts to develop into a keg. But, people call that, that's the dad bod. That's just normal, right? Yeah, I don't buy it. Your immune system, let's just say it's not what it used to be. So what happened? It's not that your body's broken. It's your cellular communication system is starting to slowly fade. The messages are not getting through. The signals that say burn fat, build muscle, repair that tissue, sharpen that focus, they get weaker and slower, or sometimes they just go away entirely. Now hear me out. In this next part, this is where people get it twisted. Peptides will not replace what's broken or not functioning. They wake up what's dormant. Let me say that again. Peptides don't inject you with superpowers, guys. They don't do the work for you. But what they will do is flip the switch on those systems that have gone quiet. They remind your body that it was designed to do specific things, and it's time to wake up and get them done again. They reignite the original blueprint that we were born with. It's not about adding horsepower, which a lot of times that's the mistake that we make, right? I mean, I want this supplement to charge me and get me energy. I want this one to help me grow. I want this one to help me lose fat, that quick fix. You've got everything that you need. It's about tuning up the engine that's already there. Why are you not accessing it? And you see, peptides are like the master key. They don't replace effort, discipline, or your lifestyle, but they accelerate the results, especially when it's paired with the right training, nutrition, sleep, and mindset. We've all heard garbage in, garbage out, right? So, we just keep taking this and taking this and taking this. It's all garbage, guys. So when we talk about peptides, we're not talking about taking a shortcut. I just want you to understand that. I had a call this morning with someone. I need something for this. Well, it doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way. We're talking about a strategic advantage, a way to upgrade the operating system that's been running in safe mode. Because once you understand what peptides actually are and what they're not, you stop treating them like hype and you start treating them like the power tools that they really are. So I want to cut through the noise. If you're over 35, especially if you're a guy in your 40s or beyond that, this is about reclaiming control of your body, reclaiming control of your energy and performance when everything starts to shift. Here's the reality. You don't feel like you used to. You may not even realize it's happening because decline, it doesn't show up with a siren. It sneaks in quietly, subtly, and consistently. So let me ask you, are you waking up tired? Even the nights that you feel like you got a good night's sleep. Are your workouts followed by longer than normal recovery? Do your joints ache more than they used to? Even after a light activity or none, just getting up off the couch. Is lean muscle harder to maintain? No matter how clean you eat, no matter how often you train? Does your mental clarity feel like it's fading? A slower thought process, more forgetfulness? Have your blood markers, your testosterone, insulin sensitivity, your inflammatory markers, have they started trending in the wrong direction? And see, guys, don't fall into the trap that, hey, these numbers, these numbers are normal for your age. Don't buy into that. I had doctors tell me that. Oh, it's normal for your age. And that's what got me down this path. I sat back. I was thinking about it. I'm like, normal for my age. What does that mean? I want to feel normal. I want to feel normal again. I'm not trying to be 30. I'm not trying to be 25. I just want to feel normal. So I started researching what my normal numbers should be. And slowly but surely, I regained control of my own health. I stopped buying into the whole narrative that, well, it's just the way it is. You're getting older. It doesn't have to be that way. And if you're not nodding along, I don't know what to tell you. But if you are, you're not broken. You're just running on less than full power, just like I was. It's a red flag, guys. It's a red flag we shouldn't ignore. Peptides, they're not just for the gym rat. We're the health nut. Oh, you're just so radical about your health. No. They're for high performers. People who are starting to feel the weight of burnout. They're for executives, entrepreneurs, people whose bodies just can't keep up with the ambition and the drive they have. High achievers, hard chargers, lifelong competitors who feel like their edge is starting to dull. They want it back. See, that's what I wanted. Peptides are the bridge between where you are and where you used to be. Before the fatigue set in, before the slowdown, before the stress, before the doubt started creeping in, before you started accepting, I'm another year older. If you're grinding through life with a dull blade, peptides are the sharpening stone, guys. And you didn't know you needed it. I didn't know I needed it. See, they don't give you the edge. They just reveal the one that you forgot you had. And one of the most overlooked dynamics that I've learned is from your health and your performance is hormones and peptides work together. Most people, they've bought into this thing that it's one or the other. They say, I'll just focus on getting my testosterone up, or I don't need peptides. I'm already on HRT. That mindset is like tuning up your car engine, but ignoring the transmission. You might get some power, but you won't get any performance, at least not any long-term performance. Then you have I don't need TRT because, I take peptides. Well, that's like driving a car that has an oil leak. And instead of fixing it, you just keep adding oil. At every stop, you add some more oil. You add some more oil. It only results in low performance and a complete waste of money. So I don't recommend that, guys. Here's the truth. So hormones are the macro signals, the big picture commands. They influence your strength, your drive, your mood, your metabolism, your sex drive, your sleep, your energy, everything. But here's where the peptides come in. Peptides are the micromanagers. They refine the process. They optimize it. They handle the details that hormones can't micromanage. Hormones need peptides to keep everything balanced. It's a power couple. And when one is off, the other one struggles. Here's a prime example of one that I just absolutely love. CJC 1295 paired with ipamorelin. It's a peptide combo. It's one of the best tools for stimulating your body's own natural growth hormone. Okay, it's not, I have to be clear here, it's not a synthetic HGH. Okay, this is about prompting your pituitary gland to do its job in the way that it used to. It's about regaining that natural production instead of replacing it. Once you get hormone growth signaling back online, a lot of the other things start to fall into place. Your testosterone starts to improve. Your insulin sensitivity improves. Your cortisol regulation becomes smoother. Thyroid function gets a lift. This is a whole system optimization. And it's what most people are missing. They throw testosterone at the problem and wonder why they still feel off. Because here's what they don't know. You have to think as the peptides as the orchestra conductor, keeping your hormones playing in perfect harmony. You can have the best musicians in the world, testosterone, DHEA, cortisol, insulin, thyroid, but without a conductor, it's just noise. And that's what happens inside us. You see, the peptides orchestrate the signal timing. They enhance the rhythm. They refine the message so your entire endocrine system plays in sync. And when that happens, you don't just feel better. You perform better. You train harder. You recover faster. You think clearer. You live with more power, with more precision. You're not just functioning. You're firing. So the next time someone tells you hormones are the answer, tell them the truth. Hormones are part of the equation, but peptides, they're the amplifier. They're the tuner. They're the real secret behind getting every system in your body to operate like a high-performance machine. I want to take a few minutes talking about zombie cells. Okay, this is something that's been flying under the radar for men over 40, but it's a massive, massive key to long-term health, performance, and aging. Okay, the zombie cell is cellular dead weight that's literally slowing you down. As we age, our body starts to accumulate something called senescent cells. These cells, they're damaged. They no longer divide. They've lost their function, but they refuse to die. They refuse to die and be cleared out like they should be. They just hang in there. They're the biological equivalent of, an employee who they don't do their job. They just clog up the workflow. They hang out. They're at the water cooler. They're just getting through the day, spreading negativity and drama in the office, but they still show up and they still collect a paycheck. They're not just lazy. They're toxic. These zombie cells, guys, they're the ones that are promoting chronic low-grade inflammation. They contribute to tissue breakdown. They accelerate premature aging at the cellular level. They block our healthy cells from regenerating and performing optimally. Think about it. You can't put something else in the garage when the garage is packed with crap. You got to clear out every once in a while so you have a little bit of room to get some in there. So here's the real question. If your body is full of these freeloaders, how are you supposed to heal, grow, or even maintain high performance? You're not. You're absolutely not. You're being dragged down from the inside out. Here's where peptides step in and flip the script. There are emerging peptide-based strategies and compounds that show real potential for targeting and clearing these cells. Autophagy helps tremendously also, but that's for another episode, guys. So in plain English, they help your body identify and eliminate the trash. Once those zombie cells are out of the way, that's when your body starts to repair tissue, reduces systemic inflammation, restores hormonal sensitivity, improves our organ function. Essentially, it's rebooting the regeneration cycle. And this is not, how do I put this? So many people are making the mistake. Oh, this person, he's just trying to live forever. This person's trying to live over 100 years old. It's not about living forever. It's about living fully with energy, with clarity, with strength for as many years as you're given. People ask you, are you trying to, I joke around and say, yeah, I'm trying to reverse the aging process. No, the truth is I don't know how much time I have left. And the reality is I want to live every single moment of every single day firing on all 8 cylinders all the time with energy, strength, clarity, focus, and drive. And I know that I can't do that unless my body is operating at 100%. It's not science fiction anymore, guys. This is the frontier of cellular renewal. And if you're serious about optimizing and not just surviving, but thriving, this is a conversation you can't afford to skip it. Peptides aren't just for performance. They're becoming tools for longevity, vitality, cellular leadership. You can't lead your life like a boss if your cells are behaving like slackers. So the question becomes, are you going to keep letting these zombie cells clog your system? Or are you ready? Are you ready like I was to clean house, upgrade the operating system from the inside out? The choice is yours, but now you know better. So now that we've covered the science and the why, let's get into the meat and the muscle of it all, the peptides themselves. This is where theory turns into strategy. So these are some of the most effective and well-researched peptides being used today by men over 40. They're using them to reset their biology, reignite their performance, reclaim their edge, many of which I've been using for about a year. Okay. Something important to understand also is protocols are going to vary. What works for one person will not work the same for another. That's why it's really important, guys. You always need to be working with a peptide literate practitioner, someone who understands your body, your labs, and your goals. And that said, so here's a breakdown. I mentioned this one earlier, CJC 1295. I'm going to get to a little bit more detail on these. So CJC 1295 stacked with ipamorelin. Use, growth hormone support, recovery, fat loss, sleep. The typical protocol is you inject subcutaneously at night, 5 days on, 2 days off. Why it works? It stimulates your body's natural growth hormone pulses. It extends the pulse. CJC 1295 extends the pulse, and ipamorelin triggers it. It's a powerful, powerful foundational stack. It improves recovery, increases lean muscle, enhances sleep, burns fat without shutting down your own systems. One of my favorites, and it's stacked with another that's coming up right behind this one. So BPC 157, used for soft tissue repair, gut health, inflammation control. Same thing, daily injections localized to the injury site or subcutaneous in the belly. Why? It's known as the body protection compound. BPC 157 accelerates healing in joints, tendons, ligaments, and even gut lining. If you've been banged up, chronically inflamed, or struggling with gut issues, this is the go-to healer. I stack that with TB500. TB500 works as systemic healing, flexibility, injury prevention, 2 to 3 injections a week, 4 to 6 weeks on. I like to cycle these. I usually do 4 to 6 weeks on, 4 to 6 weeks off. Why it works: improves blood flow, reduces inflammation, promotes tissue regeneration. This works throughout the entire body, not just in a specific area. MOTS-C's mitochondrial function, metabolic health, endurance protocol. So you inject 2 to 3 times per week, typically 4 to 6 week cycles. It basically increases your mitochondrial health. It fires up your metabolism. Great product. I've got very limited experience with it. AOD 9604, another one of my favorites. This stuff, man, it targets fat loss like you would not believe. It targets it in the subcutaneous fat layer. Daily injections, 8 to 12 weeks on. Why it works: it's a modified fragment of growth hormone that's designed to stimulate the fat burning. It doesn't increase your blood sugar, doesn't affect insulin. It's a great all-around peptide for targeting stubborn areas, especially around the midsection. GHKCU, another great one. Okay, this is known as the copper peptide. Skin regeneration, collagen production, wound healing, hair growth. It can be applied topically or by injection locally, sub-Q, near a targeted area. GHKCU is naturally occurring peptide that decreases as we age. It improves skin firmness, elasticity, wound healing, even hair regrowth. It also has a systemic anti-inflammatory property. There's a new stack now that's a blend of GHKCU with BPC 157 and TB 500. These are, it's labeled and called Glow. Absolutely fantastic. I was taking these separately. Now they're together, and I'm just absolutely loving the results. Another great one, NAD+. People have talked about it. You've heard about it. Great on cellular and DNA repair, brain function, longevity. There's several different ways you can take this. I'll share my favorite. You can either do this via IV at a clinic, a nasal spray, or subcutaneous injection. I personally like subcutaneous injection. The half-life is much better. It works much better, and it's a lot less expensive, in my opinion, to do it that way. NAD Plus is crucial for energy production, DNA repair, brain health. It's not technically a peptide, but it pairs incredibly well with peptide protocols. It supercharges recovery. Tesamorelin. I had someone reach out to me yesterday about this. Tesamorelin, great peptide. It reduces visceral fat. That's the belly fat. That's and it's growth hormone stimulation, and great for metabolic support. Same thing, daily sub-Q injections, often cycled. Tesamorelin is one of the most potent growth hormone releasing peptides on the market today, especially if incredibly effective at reducing visceral and abdominal fat. And that's the most dangerous kind, guys. That's that fat that gets around our organs and starts to choke our organs out. Our immune system starts to work in overtime, and that's when other diseases start to come in. It goes deep. It's not just cosmetic, it's functional. So, when your visceral fat starts to drop, so many other things start to happen. Your cardiovascular health increases, your insulin response is better, your hormones improve. Like I said, guys, I'm so passionate about peptides, and I could spend hours just talking about this. It's one of the reasons why I've chosen to start coaching on peptides, because I love to see the results. The emails that I get from some of my clients are just incredible. I've got some of the testimonials on my website. I would love to just get in deeper in this discussion, but the reality is I always promise to try to keep my episodes as short as possible so that you can get through the whole thing. So now the real question is how to get started in peptides. What do you need to know before you dive in? So by now you know the power. We've been talking about that. right? The power that it can bring to the table. You understand the science, the strategy, the possibilities. But before you go loading up the shopping cart and DMing some sketchy Instagram clinic, the ones, they're promising overnight abs. And hear me out, guys. There's a smart way to do this and a reckless way to do this. Everything that I've done under the supervision of a functional medicine doctor. She's been phenomenal. She's learned a lot about how my body operates and functions and has led me down the right path using the right peptides. What's the smart way to get started? Test first. I can't say this loud enough. You can't optimize what you don't measure. Before you touch a syringe, you need data. That means comprehensive blood work, not just the basics. Get a comprehensive panel. I personally use a company called Function for my labs. I receive over 100 biomarkers in more detail than I've ever seen in my lab reports. There's a link. In fact, I've got a link on my website under the resources tab. You can go check them out. Remember, your lab work, guys, is your roadmap. Guessing is truly gambling at this. And testing is where the power comes from. Choosing a reputable provider. Only use labs or pharmacies that are U.S. based. Okay, you're not going to inject something from a gas station, right? So don't inject peptides from a message board. Find a provider, someone who understands both hormone optimization and peptide therapy. Someone who tailors a plan for you, doesn't just give you a cookie cutter protocol from social media. There's enough of that garbage out there. Stack intelligently. It's not about doing everything all at once either. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. Start with your highest priority, whether it's fat loss, recovery, sleep, whatever your bottleneck is, and stack gradually from there. Start simple, master one, and then build off of that. Don't shotgun 5 peptides at once. You'll never know what's working, what's not, and what's causing any side effects if you have any. Okay, precision always beats overkill. And lifestyle matters, guys. So I want to kill this myth right now. Peptides are not a free pass to slack off. You still need to eat like your goals matter. You still need to sleep like it's a priority, not a luxury. You still need to train, manage stress, stay hydrated, and move your body. If your habits suck, there's not a peptide in the world that's going to save you. They're not a fix, they're a force multiplier. They amplify what you're already doing. So if your lifestyle is dialed in, peptides are going to feel like nitrous. But if it's like trash, you're just burning money. Don't do it. You're burning money and you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Take the time to track your responses. It's pretty simple, but most people fail at it. Track everything. Start a performance journal. Log how you feel. Your sleep, your energy, your strength, your mood, your body composition, your focus, your libido, your recovery. Your body talks, but most of us, we just don't listen. And peptides, they're not going to be like, oh boy, man, I felt that. That feels awesome. It's very subtle at first. It takes time to build momentum. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss the shifts that matter most. So it's not just a protocol. It's a partnership between you and your physiology. You're not the patient anymore. You are the CEO of your health. And great CEOs, they don't just start blindly. They lead with clarity, data, and execution. Listen, we weren't built to slow down. We weren't wired to fade out or play small. We're designed to lead, rise, dominate every chapter of your life. And peptides, they're not some magic fix. Like I said, they're the force multiplier, a way to unlock what's already inside you. When science meets strategy, when discipline meets data, man, you get amazing, amazing results. Get your edge back, guys. So if this episode sparks something in you, don't sit on it. Share it with a brother, a friend, a fellow warrior, someone who needs this message. And please, let's be real. Most men out there have no idea that this level of optimization even exists. Share it. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start executing, I've got something for you. Head over to my website, mypeptidepage.com. In there, I lay out more info, more strategies. And while you're there, don't forget to hop over in the resource section and grab your free copy of Peptide Strategies. Drop your email in there and download it right from the site. Because I live this and I coach this, I build my programs to give you clarity and not confusion, guys. It's a step-by-step approach. Everything, all of my programs and protocols are custom designed for you. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to fight your body. When all you want is momentum. All you want is to feel good again. So get the blueprint. Take the next step. And remember, you weren't made to coast. You were made to conquer. So until next time, guys, stay fast, stay fluid, stay flexible. Be the absolute best that you can be, because your best is yet to come.